wanted to see me?
Yes, Paul. I really like the way you dance. No, I mean it. So I figured we'd try this again. For one thing, if you're gonna change your name, why go from a Puerto Rican name to an Italian one?
Because I don't look it. And people always say you don't look Puerto Rican, you don't look Puerto Rican. But I am.
So you figured you looked Italian?
No, I just wanted to be somebody new, so I became Paul San Marco.
Why do you want to become someone new, Paul?
Why? But I'm not exactly proud of my past.
Who is? But that's what the word means, Paul. Past.
Okay, that might be easy for you to say. You don't have
Hey,
to.
listen, wait a minute. What made you start dancing? Your parents?
No. What do Puerto Ricans know about theater? I mean, now they have Channel 47, but back then they didn't have anything. But my father loved movies. And he would take us all the time. He worked nights, and he would come home and take us to 42nd Street. And we'd come out of one movie and go to another and another movie. I don't know why I always loved musicals.
How old were you?
7 or 8?
On 42nd Street.
Yeah, it was a trip.
Go on.
I'd have to move down front because I couldn't see. I wear contact lenses now. I'd move down front and these strange men would come and sit beside me and play with me. I never told anybody because, well, I guess it didn't matter.
Why didn't it matter, Paul?
Why?
Look, if this is too rough for you, I have your picture and resume.
No. Okay. From seeing all those movie musicals, I used to dance around on the street and I would get caught all the time. God, it was embarrassing. I was always being Sid Charisse. Always, which I don't really understand because I wanted to be an actor. I mean, I really wanted to perform. Once my cousin said to me, "You'll never be an actor." And I knew that she was saying this because I was such a sissy. I mean, I was terribly effeminate. I always knew that I was gay. That didn't bother me. What bothered me was that I didn't know how to be a boy. One day, I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, "You are 14 years old and you're a faggot. What are you going to do with your life?" And by that time I was at Cardinal Hayes High School. There were 3,000 boys there. I had no protection anymore, no homeroom where I could be charming and funny with the tough guys so they would fight my battles for me. Like when I went to small schools. I liked school, but my grades got so bad, even if I knew the answers to questions, I wouldn't raise my hand because I was afraid that they would laugh at me. They would even whistle at me in the hallways. It was awful, just awful. Finally, I went to the principal's office and I said, "I am a homosexual." Well, it was a Catholic high school. And at the age of 14, you just didn't say that. He said, "Would you like to see a psychologist?" And I did. And he said, "I think you're very well adjusted for your age. And I think you should quit school." So I did. I didn't want to. I couldn't take it anymore. See, when I quit school, what I was trying to do was figure out who I was and how to be a man. You know? There are a lot of people in this world that don't know how to be men. Since then, I found out that I am one. I was looking for the wrong things. I was trying to learn how to be butch. Anyways, I started hanging around 72nd Street, meeting all these really strange people, just trying to make friends that were like me so that I could understand what it was that I was. Somebody told me that they were looking for male dancers for the Jewel Box Review. You know, the drag show? Well, after all those years of pretending to be Sid Charisse, I had this fabulous extension. I mean, I could turn anything. First audition, and they said to me, "You're too tall to be a boy. Would you like to be a pony?" And I said, "What's that?" And they said, "A girl." Well, what do I have to do? "Show us your legs." "But I have hair on my legs." "It doesn't matter. Come on upstairs." So I went upstairs. They hiked up my dungarees, put on a pair of nylon stockings and high heels. It was freaky. It was incredible. They brought me downstairs and they said, "Oh, you have wonderful legs." I said, "Really?" Terrific. It's so strange thinking about all this. And it was a whole lifetime ago. I was just past 16. Anyway, then there was this whole thing of trying to hide this from my parents. Now that was something, because I had to buy all this stuff, you know, shoes to rehearse in, earrings, makeup. And I would hide it all, and my mother would find it. I told her that there was this girl in the show who didn't want her mother to find out what it was that she was doing, so I was holding this stuff for her. She believed me. Well, I was finally in show business. It was the asshole of show business, but I had a job. Nothing to brag about. I had friends. But eventually it became so demeaning. I mean, nobody at the Jewel Box had any dignity. Most of them were ashamed of themselves and saw themselves as freaks. I don't know if it was the lack of dignity that got to me, but I left. Oh, I muddled around for a bit. I worked as an office boy, as a waiter, but without an education, you can't get a good job. So when the Jewel Box called and asked me to go back, I went. We were at the Apollo Theater on 145th Street. We were doing 4 shows a day with a movie. It was really tacky. The show was going to Chicago, and my parents wanted to come to the theater to say goodbye and to bring my luggage. Well, we were doing this Oriental number, and I looked like Anna May Wong. Oh, I had these 2 great big chrysanthemums on either side of my head, and this huge headdress with gold balls just like hanging all over it. We were going on for the finale, and I'm getting ready to go down the stairs, and who should I see standing there but my parents? They got there too early. I panicked. I didn't know what to do. And I thought, okay, I'll just walk quickly past them with everybody else. They'll never recognize me. So I took a deep breath, and I start to head down, and just as I pass my mother, I hear her say, "Oh my God. Well, I died." Well, what could I do? I had to go out for the finale. After the show, I went back to my dressing room and I took that makeup off in this wardrobe, and as I'm starting to go downstairs again, I see my parents standing there in the middle of all of these all they could say to me was, "Please write. Make sure you eat and take care of yourself." And just before my father left, he turned to the producer and he said, "You take care of my son." That was the first time he ever called me that.
Zach, are you ready for him yet?
All right, bring him in.
Okay, here we go, everybody back in.
Larry, get the hat.
We're using hats, so